Hi, welcome. In this video, I'll be doing a screen replacement on a MacBook Pro. Let me show you the model here. If you take a look at the bottom of your computer, in the back of it, it says model A1708. So that would be the model in this video. If you have the A1706, you can actually follow along with the video. It is the same for the mid 2016 and 2017. All right, let's jump right into it. First of all, we do need to have the tools for this repair. And here are the tools. I'll link it down in the description below. You can buy them from Amazon or eBay. Also, you do need to have a screen replacement, and that is the replacement screen here. It's a full assembly. It comes with the top cover, the LCD. It's just a full set. You need to replace the whole full thing. Okay, so let me show you the problem that I'm having. So the computer turns on, and as you can see that there's only pixelated white lines running across the screen. The entire screen is just black. There's no whatsoever display here. And what I did was I tried using the USB-C to an HDMI. I was able to get a full working display on an external monitor. So there's one way to tell if your external monitor works fine and the screen just kind of cracked and you know that you had damage to the screen, then more likely you just need a screen replacement, meaning that the motherboard graphics card is still good. All right, here you can see my caps lock is on. So I'm going to press and hold the power button until the caps lock goes off. That also indicates that the computer shuts down. All right, so the caps lock is off. Turn it around. I'll be using a Pentalope P5. Let's remove the screws here. The two screws on the top are much longer compared to 4 screws here at the very bottom. And again, the screws are not the same. The two in the middle are much more smaller, and the two on the side are medium-sized screws. Once you have removed all the 6 screws, the next step is to go ahead and remove the back cover. But what I like to do is to get the metal prying tool to go in between that corner, because we need to pry it open. So it's trying to find a way to get in between. Having any luck to that? Let's see. Okay, once I get into the gap, what I'm doing right now is to pop open the clicker. So there is a little clipper right here that is clipping it down, and you're going to pop that clipper. Now the back cover does not come off just by popping the clipper, because the thing has to be slide down towards your body. So I'm going to pull this thing down and I push the laptop at the same time. So pull and push, and that's how you remove the back cover. The reason why, because the gap right here is the one that is kind of slide into the laptop. So you need to slide off the laptop in order for the back cover to get off. And the clipper is where I'm referring here, the two little side clipper clipping onto the laptop. Okay, so once that is removed, let's go ahead and disconnect the battery. I'll be zooming in slightly a little bit so that you guys can see it. Here would be the little cover here, so you kind of need to peel this thing off. Okay, and I'll expose that little plastic, and there's a little clipper right here. The clipper needs to be flipped open, so that is open clipper. And now you can slide that cable to the left to remove or to disconnect the battery. Okay. All right, once you're done with that process, I'll be starting from left to right. What I recommend to do is maybe take a picture of your computer right now. Once you take a picture of it, print out the piece of paper. As you remove the screws, you want to put the screws on top of the paper as a reference so that you know where the things are later on. I'll be using a Torx T3 to remove the screws here. The same T3. Now I might be not right about the screwdriver that I'm using, and again, the screwdriver has been with me for many years, so it may have been slightly bigger or smaller because the usage of the screw was so much that the screwdriver, the tip of it may have worn out. So if it's worn out, then I might be using one size bigger, and for your case you might want to be careful with that. Okay, so I think this might be a T4, Torx T4 for this the screw that I'm removing right now. Okay, I'll be using a Torx T5 pretty soon. Yeah, I think you're better off to use a Torx T4 for this reason. If I have the screw, I'll be using it, but it looks like I don't have it at this moment. Okay, that is the bracket that we need to remove, but somehow the bracket is attached to the connector, and it just removed the connector and the bracket together at the same time. So the bracket are not supposed to stick onto the connector, but for my case it did. I'll be using a Torx T5. I'll be removing 1, 2, 3, and 4 screws. That 4 screws right here is holding down the LCD board. So we need to remove that 4 screws in order for the LCD board to come loose, and that way that the Wi-Fi antenna can come off. Okay, so that 1, 2, 3, 4 screws holding down the LCD board, which is also holding down the Wi-Fi antenna. So this is the Wi-Fi antenna right here. Remove this screw, T5, that is for your Wi-Fi, and disconnect the 2 cables. I just lift it straight up. So they're kind of like a Lego connector, and you just lift it up, and that's how you remove it. Next, I'll be using the I'll be using a Torx T3 again. I have to remove the 2 screws here, which remove the plastic and expose the hinge. Okay, the next step, I'll be using a 0.8, that little Pentalope P2, to remove 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 screws on left and 6 screws on the right. Take your time when you remove this because it is really tiny and there might be a slight chance of stripping the screws. No rush on this process. So for those of you who strip the screw, not knowing what to do, go to my channel, search for strip screw on a MacBook Pro. I make a separate video just for how to remove strip screw. Okay, hopefully that video helps. And if you miss 1 or 2 screws here on the Wi-Fi antenna, I think it is okay. I don't think you need 12 screws to hold down the Wi-Fi antenna. Okay, I think there's a bit too much of screws. Okay, once it's all done, the next step is to get a Torx T8. Remove 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which is holding down the LCD screen. Okay, once it's all done, the next step is to remove the Wi-Fi antenna. And you want to pay attention to here, the cable would have to slide out and away from your body. So you're going to slide through that little hole to get it out. Once it's done, let's go ahead and open up the LCD screen. I will be open up the LCD screen like such. And then slide off the hinge. The hinge will just slide off on both sides, and then the entire LCD screen comes off with the LCD board here. Okay, so that is the broken screen. I have a replacement screen here. First, I like to do is to make sure that the hinge is open up. So I'll stick my little screwdriver here and gently pull it back down to open up the hinge. Next is to remove this little plastic and the tape. Okay. Here we need to make sure that the flex cable is sitting above on top the motherboard. Okay, you can't go it on top like that. You have to be above the motherboard, including the 2 flex cable here, sitting on top of it. Holding it up, you want to slide the hinge down to fall into the gap on both sides. Once the gap is fall in the hinge on both sides, double check the LCD board, making sure it's sitting above it. Same for this cable right here. They're all loose and not pinched down. Make sure it doesn't pinch it down. While holding onto the screen at the very bottom here, I just want to put one of the screws in so that I can close the screen and continue with the repair. So while holding it on the other side at the bottom, I am finding that one screw, close down the hinge and close the screen. At this point, you want to make sure, double check everything is free and loose, then it's a good then you're good. And pay attention to this, some of the bracket are missing, so you can see that there's a bracket here and there's a bracket here holding down the flex cable. It doesn't have it on the new screen, so we need to transfer from the old to the new. Get a Torx T4 for this. Some of the screen comes with it and some of them don't. So you want to take a look at it and see if it's missing. All you have to do is just transfer from the old to the new. And again, this whole new screen here, the cost of it is about $160. So if you do the work, you can get your screen repair or replace at a cost about $160. And of course you need to buy the tools. They do come with the tools. Some of the companies sells as a bundle, but it is your choice whether to buy the better tools or use the one that they provided. Okay, so I have the thing transfer, and I just wanted to let you guys know, if you want to buy the screen, please check the link down description below. I'll link it to either Amazon or eBay, where you can find this replacement screen. So let's finish up with the hinge. Put the two other screws back in to hold the screen down. Okay, the next step is to slide the Wi-Fi antenna back in. I'll make the cable a little bit straight, go through the little hole right there, slide it all the way in, and the little metal bracket has to be sitting on top of the motherboard. That is where the screws can go in and tighten it up. So make sure it sits on top of that. Push all the way in and press it down a little bit in the middle where the clipper would clip the Wi-Fi antenna down. Once it's done, double check, make sure all the wires cables are free, they're not pinched down or anything. Great. So I'm going to push this thing back in. For this one, you just have to fold it in. They kind of fold it inwards, so the thing kind of like fold it in and then tug it to close to sit on top of the bracket. So like fold it in, tuck it, and then go back on top. All right, while I'm holding it down, I'll be using what am I going to use? Okay, I'll be using a Torx T5. Sorry, I was a little bit confused at one point. Okay, once you're done with this so far, get the Wi-Fi screw back onto the Wi-Fi here. Okay, and again, this is like Lego, you snap onto it. I'm going to remove the bracket if I can. The thing gets stuck. Okay, so just like Lego, they snap it back on. Oops. That was a bit loose. Let's reposition it, holding down the bracket. Wait, I have a bit of a confusion right here. I think this is that screw. Having some difficulties here to get the thing back on. Wow, this is stubborn. Okay, finally. I have no idea why today that these screws are so hard to get in. Oh, making a bit of a challenge for me actually. Sorry about this. If you want to fast forward, you can. I'm not going to edit my video. I just want to be realistic when things not working out. I just wanted to show it to you guys. It actually happens to everybody. Like editing the video, it just too fabricated. So anyway, putting the frustration on a screw, silly me. But okay, once it's done, do not forget to continue with the rest of other screws, which you need to be inserted right here. Okay, for some reason this little bracket here is not folding all the way in. What's wrong with you? So sometimes the third-party screen from like the third-party vendor, they are not original, so you might run into some trouble like this, that the alignment is off by really tiny off, where this sort of problem is happening right now, where the screw can't get in. Okay, finally it's in. Okay, once it's all done, let's reconnect the Wi-Fi. And again, you want to pay attention on the Wi-Fi connector, because the Wi-Fi connector here is a circular object. It's a circular connector that goes on top of each other. One is smaller circle, the other is slightly bigger. It goes on top of it. So when you put it back together, you want to make sure that that you do not push it too hard, where you might damage the connector. Now, if you damage the connector on the Wi-Fi antenna, it's not too bad, because you can buy the replacement. You can buy the replacement for that. Okay, you can buy a replacement for this if you broke the connector on the cable. But if you broke the connector here on the motherboard, that is a different story. Okay, because the motherboard circle is hard to fix, cannot fix. So be very careful when you put it back on. Okay, we are all done with all that. Now the only thing left would be the Wi-Fi antenna, that these tiny little screws here that goes above. And if you still follow along so far, you're doing great. We are close to getting things done. So just be patient, take your time, and put the screw back together. If you drop the screws, again, it's not a big deal. The computer would still turn on, the Wi-Fi would still work, everything should be normal. That's my opinion. If you find this video is helpful, please go ahead and smash the like button for me. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please feel free to subscribe. I really appreciate you for doing that. And for those of you that I save you money and you want to support my work and my channel, please click on YouTube Super Thanks. YouTube Super Thanks allow you to show your gratitude. The YouTube Super Thanks allow you to share your gratitude and support my work, my channel. Okay, I really appreciate you for doing that. Otherwise, you can click on PayPal. There's a donation button for PayPal. Just a quick reminder, if you're not sure where to buy the replacement screen and the tools, check the link down in the description below, or link it to either Amazon or eBay. So about 35 minutes, less than an hour. You can fix the screen, replace the screen at a fraction of the cost. Okay, once it's all done, the next step is to reconnect the battery. Make sure that the clipper is open up, and you want to slide that cable here to the left. Pull on a little bit to the right with the little tab, and then close that little clipper, close it down, and that should be it. Alright, so we are done with all the major part of it. The next step is to put it back together. So slide this back cover back in. You need to make sure you align it properly. Once the thing is aligned, and then slide it back in on both sides. Make sure that there's no gap in that connector right here, that back cover, and press both sides to clip it back in. Okay, once it's all done, recheck again on certain things. Have the screws back on the top for the longer screws. The smallest one go right in the middle, and the medium-sized screws go on the far left and far right. So in order for you to turn on the computer, you need to bring the adapter, hook it up to power up the computer for the very first time, because the computer battery was disconnected for a long period of time, so that the motherboard right now doesn't accept the battery. So you definitely need to get the adapter here. So I do have the adapter here, USB-C. Plug it in. Let's turn on the computer. And see what happens. So there we go. We have the Apple logo. I'm going to cover up the login screen. Sometimes you may have a picture of a client. The Apple logo looks good. Make sure, yep. Okay, I'm just going to cover the name. There we go. We have a full screen. So I hope this video is helpful, and again, if you do find the video is helpful, please go ahead and like the video, share, and subscribe. If you have any question, please comment down below. I do read your comment and I'll answer you through the comments. Okay, again, just want to shout out to you that if you're not sure where to buy the replacement screen, please check the link down description below. I'll link it to either Amazon or eBay. We can find the screen as cheap as about $150 to $160 during the time that you're watching this video. Okay, and if you do find this video is very helpful to you and save you a lot of money, and you want to share your gratitude, please click on YouTube Super Thanks. YouTube Super Thanks allow you to share your gratitude to support my work and my channel. If not, click on PayPal. Thanks for watching. Thanks for the donation. Thanks for everything. Love you guys. Bye.